Hey North Texas, I hope you're having a good day so far. We have a lot to talk about though in terms of the severe weather expected for tomorrow. We could have a severe weather outbreak across North Texas. So in this exclusive North Texas Weather Center forecast, I want to give you a little breakdown on what to expect in terms of threats, the timing of the storms, and really everything that you need to know before tomorrow hits in terms of this severe weather. So let's first begin with the severe weather outlook, because the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk of severe weather. That does include the DFW Metroplex, which includes Collin, Tarrant, Dallas, and as well as Denton counties. It also goes all the way back through areas like the Red River Valley, so Sherman, Texas, Paris, Texas, all included in that threat. Enhanced risk does go as far south as areas like Waco as well, so along that Interstate 35 stretch. Main concerns are going to be damaging winds. That'll definitely be the main concern out of these storms. There could also be a few tornadoes, which you see that little black hatched area that's just kind of along and east of Interstate 35W. That is the area where we could see some strong tornadic activity. So we might have a strong tornado or two across that region. This means that we have a 10% probability within a 25-mile radius of a strong tornado. So we have to monitor this area very closely tomorrow. It's actually larger than what it was this morning, and it does extend much further to the south than previously. So definitely keep that in mind if you're further south, like areas like Waco. On the other hand, we do have a 5% probability that does extend into Denton and as well as Tarrant counties. So just again, make sure you have a plan in place, have a way to receive warnings. I will be most likely live tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube covering North Texas weather, so make sure that you are following me here on Facebook and as well as on my YouTube page so you get notified when I go live. All right, let's play it out hour by hour for the severe storms tomorrow. We're going to begin with the morning, which should stay for the most part non-severe. We might have a couple of showers out there, so don't be shocked. It's going to be cloudy most of the morning as well, so the clouds will obviously give you like maybe a little idea that there might be some storms coming. There won't be storms though up until at least lunchtime, I would say, tomorrow. So this is a look at noontime. We won't have really anything beyond just a few passing showers and maybe a downpour, but by about 1 o'clock we'll begin to have some showers and storms developing, and those storms could rapidly become severe, especially the ones, and we're already starting to notice it here on the future radar around 1 o'clock near areas like Dallas and as well as up near Sherman. A couple storms may develop as early as 1 o'clock. By 2, a lot more storm activity blows up here across the DFW Metroplex. By 3 o'clock it becomes a lot of more of a disorganized area of storms by 3, but we're still seeing a lot of storm activity. Again, the main concern with these initial storms will definitely be damaging winds. We could have a couple of tornadoes as well out of these initial storms within the first few hours. So between 1 to maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, we could have a few tornadoes out of these storms that start to move off to the east fairly slowly but surely. And especially if they're out in front of these storms, if they're semi-discreet, they're going to have the best chance for tornadic potential. By 4 o'clock, storms will really begin to really intensify by about 4 to 5 o'clock. So really the most severe storms during the afternoon should remain along or east of Interstate 35W with that damaging wind threat as well as that tornado potential as well. By 5 to 6 o'clock, the cluster of storms move off to the east. Now, this isn't it though. We'll have another secondary area of storms develop during the early evening hours. So by about 7 to 8 o'clock, the first initial area of storms will roll through areas like Tyler and Texarkana, but back over to the west near DFW, we'll have a second line of storms develop. This could pose mainly a threat for damaging winds. It will become a squall line, so we have to watch that potential very closely. But not just the damaging wind threat, we may have a few brief tornadoes, so watch this area closely because we will have 2 rounds. If you see a storm in the morning, or excuse me, in the early afternoon, you may have another storm coming at you during the evening hours because of this line of storms that's expected to develop. By about 11 to 12 o'clock, all of that storm activity will shift into areas like Louisiana and as well as East Texas. Now, I did mention cloud cover. It's going to be pretty cloudy going into tomorrow morning, and even by lunchtime, a lot of cloud cover. All this blue that you're seeing for the most part is near 100% cloud cover, but look at these little breaks over near DFW. That's the concerning feature. We do not want much sunshine tomorrow. If we have a lot of it, that's going to be a very big negative, meaning that we'll have a lot more severe weather than already forecasted. So we have to watch that closely. But for right now, most computer models are hinting at mostly cloudy conditions tomorrow morning and during the early afternoon hours. That would be good news. Now, eventually by 5 to 6 o'clock, we'll have that secondary squall line develop back over to the west, and that will be really because of all the sunshine that we'll have right out in front of that cold front. So big negative there, but we will most likely just have damaging winds and maybe an isolated tornado threat out of that line that does end up developing. Now, with all that being said, where is our greatest tornado potential tomorrow? So we have some of these oranges and reds, and it's very hard to see. They're very small, but it's basically all, for the most part, east of DFW. So where the greatest tornado threat will likely line up is going to be east of the Metroplex with that initial area of storms that we see develop during the early afternoon hours. So any of those reds and oranges indicates the best chance for some sort of tornadic activity. During the evening hours, once we have that cold front arrive and as well as the squall line, the greatest tornado threat with that line of storms will likely be in southern areas of the Metroplex, so pretty much just south of Interstate 20 will probably be the greatest threat out of that secondary area of storms that develops during the early evening hours, and then eventually that tornado threat will start to dwindle as we go into the overnight hours. Now, one thing that you may have not already heard, behind this cold front, which will be right around 7 to 8 p.m. once it rolls through the Metroplex, wind gusts could peak upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour for about an hour or two. So keep that in mind if you have any plans during the evening after these storms kind of get out of the way of North Texas. There will definitely be some very strong wind gusts after the cold front rolls through. Make sure to like this video. Also, make sure to share this video with a friend or two so they're aware of the severe weather expected tomorrow. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contracting. If you have any roofing damage or you need a free inspection, contact Platinum Contracting. The link is down in the description below.